Imagine waking up to feed your animals at dawn, only to have a full SWAT team burst onto your property. Guns drawn, because your nosy neighbor decided your hay bales were a threat to community standards. That's exactly what happened to Elena Vasquez, a 48-year-old former FBI analyst who'd traded high-stakes investigations for a quiet life in Oak Ridge Meadows, until she crossed paths with the self-appointed queen of petty rules, Patricia "Patty" Hargrove. Patty, the HOA president who'd terrorized the subdivision for 8 years with her tape measure and fake smiles, had no clue she was messing with someone who'd spent her career dismantling liars and abusers far worse than her. Elena had moved to Oak Ridge Meadows 2 years ago, seeking solace after a grueling divorce that left her with custody of her 2 rescue dogs and a passion for gardening that bordered on therapy. The neighborhood looked perfect on paper. Manicured lawns, friendly waves from porches, and a community pool that sparkled under the California sun. But beneath the surface, it was a pressure cooker of absurd regulations enforced by Patty, a 55-year-old real estate agent with a helmet of bleached blonde hair and a wardrobe of pastel power suits. Patty had turned the HOA into her personal fiefdom, fining people for everything from slightly overgrown hedges to holiday lights that lingered one day too long. "It's all about maintaining our values," she'd coo at meetings, her voice syrupy sweet while her eyes scanned for dissent like a hawk spotting mice. Elena bought her 1.5-acre lot for $420,000. Drawn to the open space where she could build a modest greenhouse for her organic veggies and herbs, a project that would not only feed her family but also supply the local farmers market. She'd pored over the HOA covenants, gotten all the county permits, and even consulted a lawyer to ensure compliance. Construction started smoothly, with the scent of fresh soil and lumber filling the air as workers hammered frames into place. Neighbors peeked over fences, some offering thumbs-ups, others whispering about how Elena's hippie garden might actually boost property values in this eco-conscious era. Then Patty arrived, her white Mercedes crunching to a halt at the curb like a shark circling chum. She stepped out in 3-inch pumps that sank slightly into the soft earth, clutching her ever-present clipboard like a shield. Well, what do we have here?" she called out, her tone laced with that faux-polite venom that made Elena's skin crawl. Elena, wiping dirt from her hands, looked up from planting seedlings. "Just building my greenhouse, as per the approved plans." Patty's lips curled into a smile that didn't reach her eyes. "Oh, honey, standards change. This eyesore could tank our resale values. We can't have farm vibes in a residential paradise." Elena bit her tongue, remembering the rumors she'd heard. How Patty had once made a family repaint their garage door because the blue was too nautical, or find a veteran $300 for flying an American flag that clashed with the aesthetic. But Elena wasn't one to explode. Her FBI days had taught her patience, observation, and the art of letting fools dig their own graves. "I've got the permits right here," she said evenly, handing over the folder. Patty skimmed it, her manicured nails tapping like impatient drumbeats. "We'll see about that. Expect a notice soon." As Patty teetered back to her car, Elena watched, noting the way her neighbor's shoulders tensed, like a puppet master sensing a loose string. The first violation notice arrived taped to Elena's door the next morning, citing an obscure bylaw about non-residential structures exceeding 100 square feet without aesthetic review. Elena's greenhouse was 800 square feet, but she'd submitted everything months ago. She chuckled darkly to herself over coffee. Patty was playing checkers while Elena had mastered chess. Instead of firing back, Elena documented it all. Photos of the notice, timestamps, even a quick note on Patty's car license plate from her driveway cam. "Let her escalate," Elena murmured to her dogs, who tilted their heads as if agreeing. Patty didn't disappoint. She called an emergency HOA board meeting at 1 p.m. on a Tuesday, ensuring most working folks couldn't attend. The board, stacked with Patty's bridge club buddies, 2 retired accountants and a stay-at-home mom who owed Patty favors, met in Patty's immaculate living room, surrounded by framed photos of her perfect family vacations. "This greenhouse is a blight," Patty declared, slamming her gavel. Yes, she had a gavel for HOA meetings. "It screams rural dump in our upscale enclave." Her cronies nodded like bobbleheads, and just like that, they voted to impose a $150 daily fine retroactively. Elena showed up uninvited, folder in hand, her expression the picture of calm amid the storm. "Pardon the interruption," she said, stepping into the room where the air smelled of Patty's cloying lavender diffuser. "But state law requires 45 days notice for any rule amendments, and you can't apply them backward." Patty's face flushed, her smile cracking like cheap porcelain. "This is about community harmony, not loopholes, dear." Elena held up the printed statute. "The law isn't a loophole. It's the guardrail against tyrants like, well, arbitrary enforcers." The room fell silent, save for the tick of Patty's antique clock. One crony, Mildred, fidgeted. "Is that really true?" Patty shot her a glare that could wilt flowers. As Elena left, Patty hissed under her breath, "You think you're smart? I'll show you standards." But outside, 2 neighbors waited. Raj Patel, an IT guy whose solar panels Patty had deemed unsightly, and Linda Green, a nurse who'd been cited for her kid's trampoline being a noise nuisance. "We've been waiting for someone to push back," Raj whispered. Elena nodded. "Start documenting everything. We'll build this together." Little did Patty know, her iron fist was forging an alliance. The harassment ramped up like a bad comedy sketch, each act more absurd than the last. Patty started patrolling Elena's property daily, measuring her grass with a ruler she'd pull from her purse like a magic trick. 0.2 inches over regulation, she'd crow, slapping another notice on the door. Elena captured it all on video, including the time Patty tripped on a sprinkler head and blamed it on hazardous landscaping. Then came the calls, to the county about unpermitted earthworks, to animal control claiming Elena's dogs were feral threats. They were labradoodles who fetched balls, and to the police for suspicious construction noise at legal hours. Each inspector left shaking their heads. The animal control guy even stayed to play with the dogs, saying, "Whoever reported this must hate Joy." But Patty's piece de resistance was a petition she circulated, painting Elena as a disruptive outsider with questionable motives, whispers of her being involved in shady government work from her FBI past, twisted into conspiracy fodder on the neighborhood Facebook group. "We must protect our values from infiltrators," Patty posted, her words dripping with faux concern. Elena read it all, smirking at the irony. The real infiltrator was the one manipulating the group with sock puppet accounts like Concerned Oak Ridge Mom. Elena fought back quietly, researching Patty's own skeletons. Turns out, Patty's backyard pool extension lacked permits. Her fence encroached on public easement, and she'd been skimming HOA dues for administrative perks, like her spa days. Elena printed photos from public records, her kitchen turning into a war room of sticky notes and timelines. When Patty next ambled over for an inspection, Elena greeted her with tea, spiked with politeness. "While you're here noting my mulch pile as a health hazard, care to explain your unpermitted hot tub?" Patty sputtered, her clipboard trembling. "That's different," It's for therapeutic purposes. Elena arched an eyebrow. Selective enforcement. Patty. The law hates favorites. Patty's response? A lawsuit for $40,000 in emotional distress and value depreciation, claiming the greenhouse would turn Oak Ridge into a farm slum. Shockingly, she got a temporary injunction. Construction halted. Tools gathered dust under tarps. Patty paraded around like a peacock, telling Linda over the mailbox, "Some people need to learn suburbia isn't a free-for-all." But whispers grew. Elena's poise under fire, her logical rebuttals, it didn't add up to the troublemaker Patty painted. Elena dove deeper, uncovering HOA founding docs from 1992 that explicitly allowed sustainable gardening structures. Patty's recent amendments? Invalid overrides. She certified copies, built her countercase, and watched as Patty targeted allies. Raj got fined for his EV charger being visually intrusive, Linda for her bird feeders attracting vermin. It was laughable retaliation. Each notice another nail in Patty's coffin. The courtroom buzzed like a beehive on hearing day. Patty swept in with a slick lawyer, armed with glossy presentations on aesthetic integrity. Graphs showed hypothetical value drops. An expert droned about visual pollution. The judge nodded politely. Then Elena rose, her voice steady as steel. "Your Honor, let's cut the fluff. The original covenants permit this. Patty's rules are illegal retrofits, and her selective enforcement voids the whole HOA playbook." She laid out evidence, photos of Patty's violations, timelines of harassment, even Facebook screenshots of her smear campaign. The judge's gavel fell like thunder. Injunction lifted. Case dismissed with prejudice. Patty's lawyer whispered furiously, but she stormed out, muttering, "This isn't over." Oh, but it was spiraling. Back home, Patty amped her dirty tricks. Anonymous tips to Elena's ex about unstable parenting. More police calls for phantom disturbances. Elena's supporters swelled to a dozen, sharing stories at secret backyard meets. "She made me remove my rainbow flag last Pride," one said. Called it divisive signage. Elena nodded. "Documentation is our weapon." Then Patty crossed the Rubicon. Frustrated by Elena's resilience, she launched a social media blitz from burner accounts. "Ex-FBI spy ruining our peace." The irony burned. Patty, the ultimate snoop, accusing Elena of spying. Financial digs revealed Patty owed vendors $12,000 for HOA events that never happened. Her taxes delinquent. When Patty knocked one evening, all saccharine smiles. "Elena, darling, let's collaborate. You could join the board, imagine the perks." Elena's eyes narrowed. "Bribing someone with my background? Bold move." Patty backpedaled. "Just neighborly advice." But Elena's recorder caught it all. The neighborhood barbecue at Raj's turned pivotal, 25 families grilling, venting HOA horrors. Patty crashed with her latest lawyer, screeching, "Conspiracy. I'll bankrupt you all." Her meltdown, captured on cams, went viral locally. Her attorney quit on the spot, face-palming as Patty ranted about deep state plots. Desperation peaked at 5:32 a.m. Elena watered her plants when sirens wailed. SWAT vans screeched up, officers deploying. "Hands up!" Armed intruder reported. Elena complied coolly. "I'm Elena Vasquez, the homeowner, and incoming sheriff's consultant for this county." The lead officer, recognizing her from joint ops, holstered his weapon. "What the?" Tip said, "Shots fired." Elena smiled thinly. "Games? Ha!" Traced back. Patty's burner phone. Bought with her card. Pings near her house. News exploded. HOA boss swats future law enforcer over greenhouse feud. Patty's on-camera denial was comedy gold. I'm the victim. She's weaponizing veggies. Charges flew. False report. Embezzlement probe. 43 homeowners petitioned her ouster. Her allies fled. The final HOA showdown packed the hall. Air thick with anticipation. Interim Chair Raj presented binders. Fraud. Harassment. Videos of Patty's tirades. This isn't governance. It's bullying. Elena spoke last. I came for peace, not war. But some force it. The county rep announced HOA dissolution for irregularities. Funds seized. Patty's swan song? A shrieking exit. Corrupt outsiders. Elena's mic drop. Patty, you swat the Fed for planting tomatoes. Who's the real threat? 6 months on. Elena's greenhouse thrived, supplying community shares. As sheriff's advisor, she cut red tape, fostering trust. Patty, community service picking litter, license yanked, house sold. The new co-op focused on fun, gardens, events. Elena's story sparked scholarships for conflict resolution. At the annual Harvest Fest, laughter echoed as kids picked produce. Betty approached with mail, Patty griping in her new town. Elena laughed. Some never evolve. But tell me, was Patty the villain, or just a product of a system that rewards control freaks? Drop your take below. Justified justice, or overkill?